Imagine a massive cake, and a group of powerful people suddenly decide they each want the biggest slice. That's a simple way to think about the scramble for Africa. For centuries, European powers had trading posts along Africa's coasts, but the vast interior remained largely independent. But in the late 19th century, everything changed. And it changed fast. From around 1881 to 1914, in a frenzy of imperial ambition, Europe carved up almost the entire African continent. But why? What sparked this sudden, aggressive rush for territory? Well, there wasn't just one reason. It was a perfect storm of economic, political, and social factors. The Industrial Revolution was in full swing in Europe. Factories were churning out goods at an incredible rate, and they needed two things: raw materials to fuel production and new markets to sell their finished products. Africa was a treasure trove of resources like rubber, diamonds, gold, and palm oil. Securing colonies meant securing a direct and cheap supply line for these materials, and also creating a captive market of new consumers. But it wasn't just about money. National pride was a huge motivator. In Europe, having a large empire was a status symbol. It was proof that your nation was powerful, modern, and a major player on the world stage. Countries like Germany and Italy, which had only recently unified, felt they had to catch up with established empires like Britain and France. So if France claimed a piece of West Africa, Britain might feel pressured to grab the territory next door just to keep the balance of power. It became a frantic game of geopolitical chess, where African land was the chessboard and its people were the pawns. Adding to this mix was a sense of cultural superiority. Many Europeans at the time held a deeply misguided belief that their civilization was the most advanced. They saw it as their duty or burden to bring Christianity, Western education, and their way of life to African peoples, a concept famously described by Rudyard Kipling as the white man's burden. This paternalistic and racist ideology served as a convenient justification for colonization, masking the economic and political greed that was often the real driving force. Missionaries and explorers often went ahead of the soldiers and administrators, mapping the interior and making contacts that would later be exploited for colonial purposes. The whole chaotic process was given a semblance of order at the Berlin Conference of 1884. Here, representatives from 14 European nations and the United States met to set the ground rules for carving up Africa. The most shocking part: not a single African leader was invited. They essentially drew lines on a map, creating borders that paid no attention to existing ethnic, linguistic, or cultural groups. These artificial borders are the root of many conflicts that continue to affect the continent today. A tribe might be split in two by a new border, or long-standing rival groups might be forced together into a single colony. The consequences of this scramble were devastating and long-lasting for Africa. Traditional political structures were dismantled, economies were reoriented to serve European needs, and local cultures were suppressed. While some infrastructure like railways and roads were built, they were designed primarily to extract resources, not to benefit the local population. The legacy of colonialism is complex, and its impact is still felt across Africa today. Understanding this frantic period of history is crucial to understanding the modern world, the challenges many African nations face, and the enduring spirit of a continent that continues to shape its own future. Thanks for watching, and if you found this interesting, don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into history.